Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Monday, March 22. A raft of measures have been introduced or extended as the island seeks to contain the spread of the COVID-19 virus. Prime Minister Andrew Holness on Sunday revealed that the tighter measures and increased enforcement are due to the ballooning numbers of confirmed COVID-19 cases and deaths on the island. The depletion of bed capacity on COVID-19 wards at hospitals across the island were also factored into the decision.
It is clear that the level of compliance is not going to be achieved by virtue of moral suasion or appealing to the public. It is now clear that the public is at the point where it is no longer of concern to them.
From March 23 to 26, the nightly curfew will remain at 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. the following day. On Friday, March 26, all business places except essential services such as supermarkets, pharmacies, and restaurants will close at noon. The weekend curfew begins at noon on Saturday, March 27, and will continue all day Sunday, March 28, ending at 5 a.m. on Monday, March 29. From March 29 to March 31, the curfew hours reverts to 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. daily. On Holy Thursday, April 1, all places of business except for essential service providers will close at midday. The 8 p.m. nightly curfew starting on April 1 will continue all day on April 2, ending at 5 a.m. on April 3. The weekend curfew will resume at noon on April 3, continue the entire day on April 4 and 5, ending at 5 a.m. on Tuesday, April 6. The usual 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. the next day restriction and movement will remain unchanged between April 6 and April 10. All workplaces are ordered closed at midday on Friday, April 9 to accommodate the gathering of essential items for the noon start of the weekend curfew on April 10. That weekend curfew will cover all day April 11 and will be lifted at 5 a.m. on Monday, April 12.
On no movement days, persons will be allowed to seek urgent medical care, and those who have overseas travel plans can make their way to or from the airport. Essential services will still be operational, but I remind those persons employed to essential services who must move on the no movement days to ensure that you have your ID to present to the police. And just to be clear as well, though you are permitted to move on the no movement days, it is movement in pursuit of your job. So it is not a wholesale movement license or exemption.
In the meantime, Prime Minister Holness updated several COVID-19 containment measures. In-person school for all primary and secondary students, including those sitting exit exams, has been suspended until April 13. The ban on burials has been lifted for March 24 to April 13. Burials will only be allowed Mondays to Fridays between the hours of 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. with a maximum of 15 persons in attendance, 10 of which are mourners. The gathering limit at weddings has been reduced from 25 to 15 persons until April 13. Church services will be allowed with a maximum of 12 persons to facilitate electronic broadcast. Applications are to be made to the nearest police station for permission, which would include the names of the 12 personnel who will be facilitating the service. Prime Minister Holness has extended the work-from-home orders in the public sector until April 13 and encourages businesses in the private sector to follow suit. The stay-at-home order in place for persons 60 years and older remains in place. So too has the travel ban on direct flights from the United Kingdom. The negative COVID-19 test requirement for travelers to Jamaica remains in effect until June 30. All other measures under the Disaster Risk Management Act will continue unchanged. This includes the 10-person gathering limit, the wearing of a mask in public, opening hours for markets, as well as the rule governing public transportation. The ban on parties, indoor cinemas, amusements, and gaming arcades, rivers, and beaches not under organized management remain unchanged.
Persons with appointments to receive a vaccine will be allowed to do so during curfew hours. Persons will be required to present evidence of the appointment. And how it will work is you will show the text message that you would have received or your email to the police.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness has announced the launch of an e-commerce national delivery system or ENDS initiative. ENDS will facilitate businesses in the quick services industry, including restaurants and delivery services, to operate up to midnight during curfew hours. Mr. Holness says limited testing has begun, with plans to start the piloting of ENDS on March 26 in Portmore St. Catherine.
The system will be fully inclusive and will enable the smallest business operator, the vendor, the jerk chicken man, your favorite fish vendor, to participate.
Businesses must be registered under ENDS to participate in deliveries during curfew hours. The ENDS is an initiative of a cabinet subcommittee and the private sector organization of Jamaica. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is warning that there will be prosecutions if corruption or negligence led to the recent disappearance of a vial of COVID-19 vaccine from the Cornwall Regional Hospital. While addressing a recent virtual vaccine town hall meeting, Mr. Holness said a full investigation has been launched to determine whether there was any negligence or theft involved.
We as a government, we are intent on breaking that cycle of the improper distribution of scarce public goods. So we take it very seriously, and I've had word with the Minister of Health, and we're going to go with the fullest force to find out what happened to that vaccine, and if there is any negligence, malfeasance, or deliberate theft and corruption involved in it.
The vial of AstraZeneca vaccine was discovered missing last Tuesday after standard checks were carried out during the vaccination process. The Western Regional Health Authority is currently carrying out an investigation which involves reviewing the CCTV footage and procedures at the hospital. The Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF is reporting a 53% clear-up rate for homicides in 2020. The figure is a marked improvement to the 39% recorded in 2019. Prime Minister Andrew Holness made the disclosure during his contribution to the budget debate. Cyber forensic and DNA evidence, he says, played a major role in the clearing up of the cases.
Increases in our cyber forensic processing output and the routine retrieval of DNA from crime scenes and recovered weapons have directly led to more convictions. This approach to investigations has resulted in a better clear-up rate.
The Prime Minister said improved investigative outcomes was largely accomplished through emphasis on the use of scientific approaches in solving crimes. And finally, some 41 Justices of the Peace, JPs, from St. James have been commissioned into service under the recently amended Justice of the Peace Act. Under the Act, these JPs are the first in St. James to be given a seal indicating that they can serve across all parishes in the country. While speaking last week at the virtual commissioning ceremony, St. James Custis Bishop Conrad Pitkin said approximately 1,000 JPs in the parish with the old seal will have to wait to have them changed out. The Justice of the Peace Act was recently amended to appoint and commission individuals as Justices of the Peace of Jamaica rather than the parish in which they reside. JPs are still expected to report to the custodies in the parish that they're currently residing. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.